This, as you all know, is the Galaxy S9 Plus, and I hate this phone. Chances are some of you might as well. The sole reason being the same design, the same looks and feel as of the Galaxy S8 from last year. Glass sandwich body which is delicate, fragile and could give you a heart attack if it falls. But to be honest, I'd say the design of the Galaxy S8 was gorgeous, and so is of the Galaxy S9. The only complaint here is of the same design. Now iPhones have been doing the same for quite some time now, and this time Samsung be like, why should Apple have all the fun? Anyways, on a serious note, the Galaxy S9 is the best phone that Samsung has ever made, at least that is what they say, and it actually is a great phone. It's a beautiful looking phone thanks to the glass back and edge-to-edge display that just blends into the body on both the sides of the phone. Whenever I took this phone out of my pocket, 8 out of 10 people asked me, is that an S8 Plus? Well, that is when they saw the front portion of the phone. When I turned the phone around, that is when they knew it was an S9 Plus. So you get my point, right? There's very minor noticeable physical difference between the S8 and the S9 Plus. You'd only know it when you see the back of the phone. But as mentioned above, the phone is slippery, fragile, so using a skin or a case is recommended. Though what I would really appreciate Samsung for is to listening to what people have to say about the placement of the fingerprint scanner and repositioning it to the center on the back of the phone, which is now very comfortable to reach. I've been using it almost all the time alongside the intelligent scan, which also by the way works great. I've been using the device for quite some time and I'm very happy with the phone. Of course, if you're already using an S8 or an S8 Plus, I don't see any major reasons for you to upgrade to the S9 or the S9 Plus. Everything is almost the same, excluding the stereo speakers, new specs, and the so-called reimagined camera. But ultimately the choice is yours. Its 6.2-inch AMOLED Quad HD Plus display has been satisfying my needs for great display whenever I would feel like watching movies or YouTube videos. Stereo speakers are what I've been wanting on Samsung phones for a really long time, and at last, Samsung finally decided to give it to us. The sound quality by the speakers is great. What I like here is the sound distribution, and it just takes the experience to a different level. They're a bit louder and more importantly, crispier to hear. And when the Dolby Atmos is turned on, you start to hear those minute sounds or effects that you probably wouldn't be able to hear normally. At least that is what I noticed. They're not stellar, but probably one of the best in the industry. The camera on this phone is what Samsung has been talking a lot. Their tagline is "Camera Reimagined." Well, it has a dual camera system now, the primary camera being a 12-megapixel shooter with a variable aperture of f2.4, which can get to as low as up to f1.4. Technically, that is meant for good low-light photos. It also has a 12-megapixel telephoto camera. The Galaxy S9 has a DxOMark score of 99, leaving behind the Pixel 2, but I'd say Pixel 2 is the best and will probably remain the same for quite some time now. Of course, the Huawei P20 Pro is around the corner, so let's see what can it do. But coming to the S9, it doesn't mean that the S9's camera is not worthy or anything like that. In fact, it's second best after the Pixel 2. There's some improvement in the S9's camera when compared to the S8. The images on the S8 were over-processed with extra sharpening, but that's not the case with the S9. The images are good with normal sharpening and good saturated colors. The portrait mode, the live focus works great too, but nothing can beat the Pixel 2 in this regard. The selfie camera is great too, but the images are a little bit softer to my liking. The Pixel 2 will again take the lead here. It also has a live focus of its own, but it's not as perfect as the Pixel 2 again. Now there's a super slow motion video which allows you to shoot at 960 fps at 720p, and I honestly feel it's a gimmick. I don't see a lot of people using the super slow motion video. I mean, it's a fun little feature to have, but not everyone will use it, right? Though it's a great novelty feature to have, but on the other hand, shooting 4K videos on this phone is great. Performance wise, I've never had any complaint with the phone. It still remains as fast as it was on day 1. 6GB of RAM has been handling all the apps and games perfectly fine. I've been multitasking a lot and the experience was great. The battery life though is average. I was able to get a screen on time of about 3 to 4 hours on my heavy usage, But like I always say, it depends on usage. You may have better results. But it definitely lasted me throughout the day, which is a good thing. It's at least better than the iPhone 10 in terms of battery. Why I hate this phone is probably because of some minor things like the average battery life, and the cameras were not what I expected them to be. I thought it would be better than Pixel 2, but I was wrong. So, in a nutshell, this was my experience with the Galaxy S9 Plus. Feel free to share your thoughts about the device. The Galaxy Note 9 is about to launch earlier than expected, and I'm super hyped for it. And I can't wait to see what Samsung comes up with.